Hey, sixth graders. So we finished Bayou Magic in the last reading, but I wanted just to read the acknowledgments or the note from the author at the very end of the book. And so the author of this book and many other good books, her name is Jewel Parker Rhodes. And she says, I've always loved Louisiana, its people, culture, and landscape. I just finished writing Ninth Ward, a novel about the human environmental disasters caused by Hurricane Katrina and the levees breaking. So levees, remember, are kind of like a dam. I remember when I was growing up in southern Canada, we had a lot of flooding every year, and we used sandbags, and we had to haul sandbags and build walls. And so a levee is kind of the same idea. To my horror, the evening news was filled with images of the Deepwater Horizon oil rig explosion, flames leaping, fireboats spraying water, plumes of black smoke, and crude oil spreading over the Gulf waters. 11 rig workers died in the explosion, and more than 200 million gallons of crude polluted the environment. To date, the Deepwater Horizon spill is the worst oil disaster in U.S. history. In Bayou Magic, my heroine, Maddie, uses her intelligence and magical powers to rescue her community from environmental catastrophe. Maddie is a symbol of hope and my personal praise song for all the young people who care about being good stewards of our air, land, and water and our Earth's natural resources. Louisiana, in particular, has always been subject to severe weather and environmental damage. Natural disasters are unavoidable, but human caused disasters may be more easily averted if we learn from the past. You, dear reader, and your generation will have the ongoing challenge of balancing the use of natural resources with safety for humans, animals, and the planet. For me, the legend of Mami Wata was a perfect counterpoint to the oil spill. Mami Wata, Mother Water, was the name given to African water spirits in the pidgin English used by slave traders. There are countless folktale variations regarding the spiritual powers and gifts of half fish, half human Mami Wata. Mermaid legends abound throughout all cultures. For me, this tale spoke of such love, loyalty, and community. Symbolically, too, it affirmed the cultural contributions, present and future, that Africans would make to American culture. In a time of need to save the Bon Tomp community and its environment, Maddie calls upon the grace of mermaids, her spiritual ancestors. In Maddie, I poured all my love for young people who seek each and every day new and better ways to care for our earth. Sincerely, Jewel. So, as we kind of reflect on that story and that really long story that we've been reading for a number of weeks about biomagic and Maddie and her best friend Bear, and just the marvel at meeting her grandmère and being in the bayou and being that one person that had the ability to see Mommy Wata when Maddie's mother, Maddie's grandmère, no one else could see Mama Wata. And it was almost like that summer was a summer destined for her to go down to the bayou because that was the summer that the oil rig was going to explode. And tragedy, of course, really struck when Bear's father was killed in the explosion. We also learned that Bear was abused by his father. He was an alcoholic. His mother left him, and it leaves us to kind of think about like what is going to happen to Bear, who is going to take care of him. And I think in such a community like Bon Tomp, he will be taken well care of because I know that the people of Bon Tomp love Bear and they're very close. And so I have no doubt that if this were a real story, if this were nonfiction, that Bear would hopefully have a happy ending where he was embraced by the community and raised well and kept there, not moved away. So, and all these fish and these animals died, which of course was a huge tragedy, just for environmental reasons and because of the death of these creatures. So I want you to think about, all of you are 11 and 12 years old, and you might think, what am I going to do when I grow up? What is my purpose? But I also want you to think about what are you really good at? What are those talents that you have? What are those talents that maybe no one knows that you have? Or those things that you think about before you go to sleep at night, or those lingering thoughts that you have about maybe the way things could be different, or the things that you could contribute to your family, or to your school, or to your community, or to the world in general. And in each and every one of you, every single one of you, regardless of what people have told you, or the environments and that you are in. You all might be in positive environments, or some of you might have a lot of struggles that you're dealing with. Each and every one of you has something amazing inside of you, and not just one thing. I mean, there's like millions of things. There's like, think of it this way, like all those fireflies that surrounded Maddie, they were real fireflies in the story, but if this were real, what do you think those fireflies really were? They weren't really fireflies. The fireflies were a symbol of all of those dreams and hopes and talents and powers that lay within Maddie. And that is something that is in with each and every one of you. And so I guess the thing that Miss Gray and Miss Shiner and Miss Wilson and I would like to say to all of you is that every single one of those fireflies, no one can put them out. So you find people along the way that you know are going to make, how do I say this? Are going to make the light in those fireflies shine brighter and brighter and brighter every day. We love you, sixth graders.